Fala, Bis, eu tô aqui em Buenos Aires agora, nessa 9 de julho atrás de mim. Tô com a Meg, do blog Dopes on the Road. E a gente tá participando da playlist sobre visibilidade lésbica. Vocês já devem ter assistido o vídeo do canal Drag-se. E a gente vai conversar agora em inglês com legendas pra vocês. We have been traveling together for the last couple of days. We have been to El Calafate. We're kind of sisters now, or brother and sister, kind of.
It's true.
Inside LGBT-friendly cities, there's space for lesbians.
A lot of times, lesbians are forgotten about. We are invisible within the LGBT community in a lot of places. Our spaces, our bars, our bookstores, our coffee shops are all kind of disappearing because we don't have the same amount of funding to maintain them. It's really a case-by-case basis. It depends on the city. There's some cities that have tons of lesbian-friendly spaces and are really inviting and inclusive, and then there are some that they say like LGBT, but then you show up and you're like, oh, okay,
Just
LGBT means gay men.
You have like one city that you can name it that is really well accepting for lesbians?
Both New York City and London are really great. They have a lot of different options for lesbians and queer women, and they have bars and coffee shops and large communities and lots of groups. They're both really good.
What do you think we can do for these cities have more? Because sometimes they just are getting into LGBT, so they don't know much about, and you have more information about gay men. That's why they think, oh, I have a rainbow flag, and I have some gay bar, so I'm LGBT friendly. What can they do for lesbians to attract this audience?
Well, I think one of the most important things that you can do is using real people and branding. You know, you say like LGBT friendly and you put like the gay male couple walking on the beach with the rainbow flag in the distance and we're done, it's perfect. But there's a lot of other people, there's a lot of diversity and nuance in the community, and being able to use people who actually look like lesbians or actually look like gay people, not just models, is really important. It's a good thing that you can do. But there's also smaller things, like if you're offering a spa package at a hotel, you know, have it be gender neutral and not like, oh, his and hers. You know, if you have robes, put two just larger size robes and not like one little one and one big one, you know, because that doesn't work for a lot of LGBT couples.
Yeah.
Those are the little details. I think most people try to be friendly and they try to be accepting, but they just don't think about little things. You know, you check in for your honeymoon, they put like a lovely spread on the bed and it says like Mr. and Mrs. and you're like, good try, but we're not quite there yet. On like a larger level, you know, educating your staff. And when you check into a hotel and somebody reserves a double bed, they should get a double bed. You don't have to ask, it doesn't have to be awkward.
What attractions lesbians do most?
A lot of the women who read my blog are very drawn to adventure travel, which is a little bit different than what the stereotype is of the gay men. Of course, there's gay men who like adventure travel, but statistically, there are a lot more lesbians who enjoy those kind of things. And so being able to do things like El Calafate was an amazing, amazing adventure travel destination. You could do the hiking and the rappelling and the horseback riding and all the different kind of outdoor things, which a lot of lesbian couples enjoy doing. Of course, there are lesbian travelers who like to do all things. We're not just like one person. It's funny because my blog, I have an article that's about lesbian nightlife in New York City. And I think a lot of lesbians, they know like, oh, New York, it must have a lot of lesbian things. It's one of the biggest cities in the world. So they search for it, but then they assume that smaller cities don't have it. You don't know unless you look for it. So it's amazing what a Google search can do.
And if you want to find, go to
dopesontheroad.com. The link's in the description below.
I don't know in Portuguese this kind of stuff. As a blogger, she's invited to many destinations and press trips. Sometimes you're invited as a LGBT media, but the destination doesn't have a lesbian nothing.
The one thing that a lot of destinations, especially newer destinations to LGBT marketing, don't really understand is that gay people are people first. We like the same things that straight people do. Like, we like nice hotels, and we like restaurants, and we like bars, and we like all the things that you do while you're traveling. But the difference is that a lot of the questions that I get are about safety. And it's about me and my girlfriend or me and my wife, we're traveling, we're going on a holiday, like where can we go that's safe? Where can we go that we're not going to be discriminated against. Where can we go that will be accepting of us? So when I write my guides, it's like, oh, go to this amazing spa and do this outdoor activity and go to this restaurant, which anybody can do. But the question is about, can I go there and feel safe? Can I have a romantic weekend and not worry about holding my partner's hand? It's less about like, where is the lesbian bar? Although having that information is always good to know. And more about a gay person, can I go here and feel accepted? People are spending thousands of dollars to travel to a destination, especially if it's like a romantic vacation or a honeymoon or a wedding or something like that. You don't want to risk going somewhere that you could get hurt or have your holiday ruined.
Why do you think the market's so focused on gay men and forgetting about women?
First, there's a lot of men. There's a lot of gay men in particular who work in the tourism and travel industry. So the other part of it is the gay men are like statistically the perfect traveler. Travel in the off season, do mid-range to luxury accommodations, traveling multiple times a year. I think the average is like 6 trips a year or something like that. It's like the perfect person to market to if you own a hotel or your destination. Statistics are a little bit different for women. Lesbians travel just as much as gay men, but where they're going and what they're doing and what activities they're interested in are a bit different. There's a lot of reasons. It is really, really, really expensive. Blogging is like, it's amazing and I love what I do, but it's also, you're never gonna get rich as a blogger. Spoiler. Like, that's not gonna happen. And I had to pay for my own travel and my own trips for years before I was ever invited on a press trip. I had to live my life every day making that a priority. And for a lot of women, we already make less money than men do in most countries. We already have other responsibilities. We tend to go into fields that are not as fortune building as, say, like banking or something like that. There's less bloggers, there's less journalists who are women in the travel industry. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just one problem, and I don't think that you can really blame any one person. It's not the destination's fault, it's not necessarily the PR's fault, but I do think that we all need to go a little bit extra and dig a little bit deeper to find other travel bloggers and journalists who are lesbians so that we can have kind of a more well-rounded view of what it's like.
Do you think lesbians in generally blend in easier than gay men?
My wife is very, very tall and very masculine, and if anybody saw her, they would immediately know you are a lesbian. Sometimes a man, yeah, it depends on where we are. There's no blending. But for me, I'm very feminine, so I blend in. Nobody would ever know that I was lesbian unless I told them. It does make it easier for me, but most lesbians are not me. There's a lot of gender non-conforming people, and there's a lot of people who are non-binary and somewhere in the middle, and they're very easily identified. And I think in some ways it does make it dangerous to travel to places that are not LGBT friendly or not LGBT accepting, because you're immediately identified as somebody in the LGBT community. I think it depends on what your gender presentation is. If you're gender conforming, then you're not going to have as many problems. That's shitty, that sucks, but the reality.
We hope it changes, and that's why we are having this playlist here. She's an awesome person that I'm really glad to know.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I'm not saying that because you're here. I want to leave this recorded. If you want to know more about lesbian travel, go to dopesontheroad.com. Do you have a YouTube channel as well?
No, but you can check me out on Instagram at Meg Cale.
Everything below in the description. O canal das Bi também vai continuar falando sobre o assunto. Eles que são especialistas nisso podem falar muito mais propriedade do que eu. Continuem assistindo a playlist aqui enquanto a gente vai curtir um pouco mais de Buenos Aires.
Cheers! To Buenos Aires.
You can look rich, but not actually being rich.
This is orange juice.
Yeah, perfect.